All right, our speaker today happens to be one of our own, and I have just recently found out it is also his birthday, Jim. So great things happened on this date in history. So we will be pleased to hear from Jim Peterson, CEO of the Vermillion Chamber and Development. Jim.
I come with gifts from my good friend Ted. What do you think? You can make both of them for you. We thought a big piece of pie or cake from Malay is a little much. So this is what Sky may have made it. I'm not sure, but enjoy it. Take it home to your bride. So we're going to talk a little bit economic development, abbreviated version. Some of you have seen me, may have heard the talk before, a little lengthier, but we'll just get to key points, economic development, but we want to talk about TIFs. Our legislator brought it up. It's a very hot topic in the legislature this year, and we'll see how it goes. So we always start with our mission, right? Vermillion area and businesses grow and prosper. So today is National Chamber Day. I don't know who knew that. Okay, everybody pay a fine. Back in the room, you don't have to. So to celebrate, we also hit 400 members of the Vermillion Chamber this week. So you can join us at 4 o'clock at Carrie's for a beverage on us, 5 o'clock a toast, some light appetizers, then we're done. So it's all thanks to you and our community. We continue to grow. We're very happy about that. So how many have the Live Vermillion app? Okay, how many have the Monday Messenger? How many individually? You can always join the chamber for $100 and a quarter. Think about it, invest in your community. Many of your businesses are in here, and we thank you for that. Just a reminder, if you have friends or family, get them on the app. We have over 3,000 people on that, so you get instantaneous push-outs. We have about 1,800 on the Monday Messenger, so just trying to communicate what's going on in town. Before we start, yep, Ted took the thunder out. It is National Fossil Day. Very famous day, Vermillion, South Dakota. Bigger across the state. If you go out Rapid City, right, Rakesh, we're talking, there's some fossils out there. Yep. So, you know, you could ask Maxine Johnson, she'd know about fossils in Vermillion. So then I asked ChatGPT about it. So what's the most famous fossil in Vermillion? And what do you think came back? There he is. How could that be? It totally, I didn't believe it. Makes sense, but you got to have some fun in life, right? Or you shouldn't do it. So glad you have a sense of humor. So with that, we'll talk brief. What is economic development? And then what incentives do we, as economic within the chamber, offer? Which a big piece is TIF financing. We can work with the city or things, sales tax rebate. And then we work with Governor Office Economic Development, some grants or loans. That's it. So TIF is a very important feature. So when you leave today, hopefully you've learned a little bit what a TIF is, tax increment financing, why it's important, done correctly, and we need it in the tool chest to keep development going. So I'll let you read what economic development is, right? We all know, yes, we want to attract a new business. We want to retain businesses. We want to grow businesses. We need the infrastructure. We need things to do. There's also been a blending. We do a lot of things on the daycare and housing side where you never used to. You know, a lot of people may ask us questions, but we have a lot of confidentiality. We're not misleading, and you can just read that. We may have a non-disclosure, like we have a rail car company. I can't say the name in public for competitive reasons. Some people in our office may or may not know. Some people in this room, well, at least one usually knows, but sometimes they don't know. You know, a landowner, like when we annexed property in from north of Highway 50, didn't want anybody to know what's going on. So that just gives you a little better feel. Some things are done very quietly, some to come to fruition, some don't. Usually the first question we get, what incentive can you give us? Right? Beardsford's going to give us this, Sioux Falls this, why should we come to Vermillion? And then we sell them on, hey, we have, you know, great people, great school, housing, quality of schools. Boys and Girls Club is a big thing. Quality of life, not that far to commute. But it's always, what can you do for us? Because even on housing, Elk Point, Centerville offer more incentives than we do for somebody to build a brand new home. We know we have the little challenge on taxes, so we have to get more business, increase the tax base. Any questions? You following me so far? We do, so everybody knows, have office space available in Vermillion, South Dakota, and we need your help to get that leased. So that is out, the VTC Center, as known, was when Eagle Creek was going to come to Vermillion, never came. So we have biomat in one piece, but we have 15,000 square feet, fully furnished, conference rooms, kitchen, ready to go. So we'd really love to have that, right? AI company come to town, research, medical, you name it, we're ready for it. So that is our challenge right now, to fill that. Can see, they have 90 cubes there. So we're trying to market that. We retain Bender Commercial. Here is, some people think we have a lot of land. We don't have much land. So on the left side is out by Runnings. In yellow is what we have available for sale, and 2 of those are under contract. So we have about 6 acres. That's it. Not a lot for commercial or industrial. If you come to the right side, that's by AMS, that little blue, we have about 6 acres there, but it doesn't have sewer and water up to it. So that's all the land we have that the chamber owns. The city and us have a little bit, about 5 acres out by the new jail, we'll show you in a minute. But that's really commercial land. So we're actively looking for land. Sometimes we can't say where or what, but we made some offers, didn't get it, but we continue to look because we need land to grow. So you got to have a willing seller, and then fund it the right way. So that blue north of Walmart was annexed into the city, 40 acres, of which 37 has sold to a developer to be determined what we're going to do on a master plan. The other 3 acres haven't closed yet, but that'll get closed hopefully later this year. So that's the first time we can start looking north of the highway for another development. Now we're going to go a little bit to housing. So anybody have questions on land, commercial? We need some. Need some industrial. So we just talked single family housing, multifamily, and then land. So Bliss Point, very successful. We've showed that before. Bliss Point 1 lot left. Bliss 2, 9 lots left, but we can build on 20. Jolly Addition, last I know, 1 sold. So there's, 12 available, and then Jack Powell, there's 32 lots available on the west side of town. We have 10 up for sale right now. We have a project going on for the other ones with the city, waiting to see what happens. About 2 years ago, you heard about Jefferson Street, which is across from the high school. Land that was gifted to the chamber, we're back on that to see if we can develop that for about 8 to 16 lots. So that'll be a focus next year, so you'll hear about that. Because we need single family home lots east side of town is our focus at the moment. And we're starting to use a word workforce housing, which means a little lower price, because right now they'll say affordable housing per the state agencies is $409 is affordable in South Dakota. We think you got to get down into that 300 range. So that is Jack Powell Edition. Many of you attended, and we thank you for that, out at the Safety Center Jail grand opening. Very good event last week. So those are 3 multifamily lots we have available. Up on the top on 50, there's 2 commercial lots, and then the single family homes. Everybody's paying attention, nobody's sleeping. There's Bliss 2, so the ones that don't have a dot are still for sale. Very successful project, Bliss 1 and 2. This is newer to many of you. We just started now, not the best picture. But if you look at, we're trying to go east, and we're trying to get ahead of developers so it's easier if they want to come. So we can save about a year to year and a half of time. So we're going from Crawford Road east to 466th Street, all the way down to Burbank Road, all the way up to 317th where Masaba is, and looking at what makes sense for utilities. What's it going to cost us, sewer and water? What is commercial, residential, multifamily? So we're working with Banner and the city on that right now. Should be done about January, February. We'll take it back to the public and show more. And then we'll be, like I said, we can use that study to get grants or to apply low interest loans, but it saves us about a year and a half in the development project, because that's the direction we want to go. And for those that are on the golf course from 96 and saw those little things up that abut the golf course or the cul-de-sac, those are included in this plan, because we have to get sewer water to it. Questions on that? It also includes that whole east side of the golf course for development. Here is one some people know about or not. So that was plotted. That is Crawford Road. A lot of people know that on the corner of, say, Crawford and Main. It's called the Armstrong property. About 18 acres was plotted, agreed to in the joint jurisdiction between the county and the city. It's not annexed in yet, but the intent is next September to annex in for development. And it'll be called Bluestone Trail, about 15 acres. So we're setting up. We will need a TIF because you have to put a long road, Clark Street, through there. So a TIF would be good. If you don't have a TIF available, probably not going to happen. And we can get about 50, 60 homes as a design in there and some other things. Yes, sir.
I know one of the big issues has been whether these areas are going to be served by the city utilities or the REA. Have they worked those out? Do they have an agreement?
I think there's always an agreement in place. Can't speak. Our city manager could speak more. This would be annexed in the city, serviced by the city on that proximity. Do you have anything that you want to add?
The last 300 feet of that property is already in the city, back in Crawford Road is paved. The balance of it is not. But Judge, as you know from the state statutes, if the city annexes it, you have up to a year to bring it into our service territory. When it's raw ground, it's a little easier to do because you know customers buy out.
Did that answer your question okay?
Well, I presided over the trial, the big fight between, over the golf course area. That's why I'm asking.
Okay. I just think we just keep going, right? If you want to grow, you're going to go out, annex in, grow, annex in, respectful, whatever. Landowner doesn't want to sell land, you got to work around it because you need a landowner that wants to sell. We've been on this whole landowner for 3+ years now, chatting, seeing what they want to do. Okay, now we're going to go more towards TIF. What is a TIF? So it's tax increment financing. It helps us attract business, expand business, can get some infrastructure in on roads. And it's 20-year max per state statute. So it's all regulated by the state. So if you really think max can be 20 years, and now we'll take you through a little formula. It can be local, can be industrial, right, to bring in a business, economic development, or for affordable housing, which I referenced the state deems this year at 409 and under. If it's multifamily, they can control what the rents can't be no more than. Okay, so it's tax increment financing. City's done 12 TIFs. The last 3 were private TIFs by developers for multifamily housing. Right, the Todd Bowling project by ACE, 35 townhomes, working on the first 10. Stencil Group, which has apartments, be 118 apartments, but 165 beds, first building that's going up. And that's out on the east side of town. They also put that Roosevelt Street through, if you saw that go through. So they're paying for that front $900 to $1 million and then get paid back for that road for the TIF. So the city didn't have to put in that infrastructure. And then AMS Building System a few weeks ago or a month ago now is putting up 48 units or 24 2-bedrooms, which we need in town, on Cottage. All those had a tax increment financing. All the risk of that is on those developers. Nothing to the city. Doesn't go against city bonding, county bonding, it all goes to the developers. So this is what Stencil could look like when it's done. And you'll have some pickleball courts and other amenities. And in TIFs, you use a test, but for, right? But for the TIF, we wouldn't do it. So don't have enough money, doesn't pencil out, so they need the TIF to make it go forward. They need some of that tax money coming back to them. They pay the tax, and then the tax come back to them for a set period of time. And this is right from the state book, a little example. So if you look through it, right, your land is $1,000, so you're going to do a TIF on that land. So the county, city, everybody still gets their taxes on the $1,000. But over time, he's going to develop it, and now it's worth $1.7 million. So that difference from the $1,000 that taxes are being paid to the $1,700,000, that tax, that person pays the tax, then he gets it back to him until such time whatever was deemed appropriate costs that could go into a TIF are done. So this is right from the state's book. So no, taxes are still in place. School, county, people have to sign off. The state has to approve it. The city has to approve it. Your city councilor, if it's in the county, county commissioners would have to approve it. So there's certain costs that can go in. It can't be the building going up, but it's the infrastructure costs, some of the architect fees, sewer hookup fees. So the goal is, they're still paying taxes on that baseline. That increase of value they're doing, they're paying that tax, but then it comes back to them until it satisfies whatever was agreed to up front. And it can be no longer than 20 years. So if the taxes don't pay out, that person or business is on the hook for those funds. Anybody that knows TIFs better than me? Anything to add? Right, so it's tax increment financing, regulated by the state, approved by city council or county commissioners, 20-year max, only certain charges can go in. It's a good thing done correctly. That's what I want you to leave with. It's one of our only tools to entice development. I know, sorry, now we're going to talk taxes. A little high in Vermillion, but this just shows where it goes. This is right from Terry Crum at the county last year. So when we pay, 31% goes to the county, 47% to the school, 13% to the city. That's the breakdown, a little easier to see. And now we're going to show you why it's important for a TIF or the value. And if people want these slides after, we can send them to you. We'll have on our website the full longer one that I've given to the community. So in 2015, great foresight, who was ever on the chamber, city working together, bought the land from the Bliss family, right? They did a TIF for $1.7 million. The assessed value of that farmland was $55,000. TIF 6, which was that $1.7 million we had to pay off, in 25, it was paid off this year. That value of the land before was $55,000. Now it's $30 million. You have all those homes. Some of you people in here live out there. So the taxes this year, it got paid off this year, but going forward right now, it's $600,000 a year in taxes on that land. That goes back to city, county, and schools. So that was a good thing, right? Without that TIF, $1.7 million probably wouldn't have happened. I would hope you think it's a good thing. So that's all I had. Then we're going to show you one little last video if you haven't seen this. And I think there's really a proud mother in here that could pay a little bit of money for it. Some other people are in this video, may want to throw a little money. And I don't know if you've seen it or not, but this is the one promoting Vermillion. We just did 3 recently.
A place to create, to appreciate, to experience, to celebrate, to enjoy, to connect, to unwind, a place to discover, to return to, over and over again. Come find your place in Vermillion.
Right, that's who we are. So we did this with Lawrence and Schiller. We've done some on Instagram, a couple more. We have a lot of photos. We've offered university, anybody needs photos that we had them shoot for us. And then we did another special video this year with Governor's Office Economic Development about town and why we're open for business development. They will feature at the Governor's Pheasant Hunt in a couple of weeks, a special business feature on Masaba. So Masaba has their open house tomorrow. Starts at 3 o'clock. We have the real festivities start at 4. They'll do tours 3 to 4, festivities, some talking at 4, and then more tours after if you can make it. Right, great partner in the community, great business that they're growing, and giving back to the community. So what questions you have, economic development and/or TIFs? Yes, sir.
So I saw that the block north of the highway that we annexed,
Yes,
that's going to be all houses.
to be determined.
So we don't own it, so we have to run the park in there or anything like that.
Correct. It's an individual investor. They are working on a master plan now. He's asked for some community input. We said we'd surely give him that. So he really doesn't have a plan. We've sent him to some different people to talk to. And then 3 acres of that, we know what it's going to be, but we can't say. That hasn't closed yet, and that's being worked on.
I just don't know how much property we have.
We can say what we want, but we don't own it, so. Yes.
Do you, VCDC, buy bare land and then prep it, structure it to sell to the developer? Do you buy land, do you want a land inventory?
We would like, subject to our board or working with our partners, some land inventory, especially for commercial development.
Why
What-
doesn't the private landowner keep it, and then you do the middleman, the person from Sioux Falls or Vermillion wants to develop it, they buy it, why do you hold land inventory?
Going forward, that is our preferred choice, but on some of the inventory to get residential builders, our local ones don't have all the capital structure to develop roads and that, so we've done it. We've talked to about a half dozen from Sioux Falls or surrounding areas, and we would really, if we could broker, right, just be in the middle, right of first refusal, or connect people for a 20 or 40 acres, they will come and do it all. That would be a preferred, and they're going to build probably 6 to 8 at a time to get the efficiency they need to make it worthwhile. The challenge has been in the last couple of years, Sioux Falls, surrounding areas also has the housing need. There's enough work in their backyard, they don't want to travel. But that is our preference if we could find somebody. I think it was very good. Those that know the Stencil group that's here, they are deemed, we hear from folks like the A-team in South Dakota to come and develop and build. So they do most of their financing in-house, where we have others that we're working with can't get their third or half for the equity they need. So you are correct. We would prefer not to own land and develop it if we can find someone to do that, be it residential, commercial. But if not, you have to buy the land and go forward. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Yeah, you mentioned affordable housing. What is the per square foot cost today for roof structure?
We use on average, ballpark, 275
275?
square foot. So the lower price houses around probably are in Bliss Point. There's some smaller ones, crawl space, about 1,250 square feet. 2-stall garage go for about $295. And that's reality. Like I did some different studies. You look at Yankton or elsewhere, that's just what it is. So, but we're working on a couple other things to try to get the right mix of housing. You want some upper ends, want some bigger lots in the country, you want some in town. We want a variety. When somebody wants to come here, they have options.
Polaris is one of the big businesses here.
Correct.
Yesterday, the big news was that Polaris sold off their motorcycle
Correct.
division. Do you have any insight whether that's going to impact the business here in Vermillion?
I do not. The business here in Vermillion is just aftermarket parts. So they don't do any new equipment. They just support parts. They have about 180 people, very good business model here, and I think they'll be here, but it could be some shifting to different warehouses of product. Yes, sir.
Many of the challenges against TIFs are coming from the western part of the state. Would you identify what some of the problems that they've identified are and what you want to do to counteract them?
I don't know if you have more knowledge than myself. What I hear, so we're part of about 30 economic development folks in the state, and we have talking points not in here that they do. Some I think they think you're giving a TIF just to wealthy people could do it, or they're doing it not quite the way it should be, giving them breaks. Where here we've been conservative, we have a need, and I would say for the majority, right, don't kick out TIFs if you had one bad apple. Let's use it the right way and don't put too many constraints on it. Do you have anything to add?
I would just say.
So this is Sydney Davis, one of our legislators.
The thing
You do it very well, just so you know.
I'll try. Yeah, I think to put it plainly on a complicated subject, there's just, I think, some communities that feel like, as Jim did a great job explaining, it's the but-for test. But without the incentive, would the development happen? And so there are some communities or some legislators that feel like their local governments, because it has to be a city council or a county commission that approves the TIF, that are abusing it and saying, well, you're just giving an incentive, they come no matter what. And so that's probably the easiest way to explain the quote abuse that some feel is happening. For example, out in Rapid City, there's a developer that wants to bring in essentially like it's a theme park, it's an amusement park out in Rapid City, which would generate a lot of traffic to Rapid City. So there's a lot of controversy whether or not that developer is very wealthy and known in the area. And so there's a lot of controversy around that would that individual just, I mean, why do they need the tax break when they just come anyways? Currently, the area up for where this developer is looking at is, I think, just pasture. So I think it's very much a blighted area currently, but again, that's some of the controversy we're seeing on the western side of the state, on the Rapid City area, and hope that colors the line a little bit more, fills the gaps for us.
So I think, with the city, they've done a lot when they have needs for infrastructure, et cetera. For housing, we've just done them in the last couple of years. You always work with somebody, like an attorney or two we've worked with that specialize in TIFs, so you make sure what costs can or can't go in. City council scrutinize it. If we had a surplus of apartments, you're probably not going to do a TIF, right? We don't need more. Right now, we still need a lot of housing. But if you do bigger developments, it's a good tool for that infrastructure, for the risk the developer's taking, in my opinion. But you'll hear more of it. I think you did it very well, Sydney. Thank you for that impromptu talk. So we're just trying to educate people. And in talking to two of those accounting or lawyers, they say really it's people don't understand that increment. They don't understand the but-for test. They don't understand TIFs, so they just say, no, we shouldn't have them. So we think they're a good thing. They are good for our community, our area, and we would like them to continue. It's like I mentioned, there's 3 offerings. We have a TIF. We can do a sales tax rebate, and then we go to the state that we get leads from. Can they give low-interest loans? That's all we have in our area. So with that, we're done. Happy again birthday, Ted. Enjoy your treats, and thank you everyone for listening.
Thank you, Jim. Want to say thanks to our visitors, Sky and Tom, for coming today. Always nice to have you with us. Olivia, Evelyn, Josephine, good to have you with us as well. We do need to draw our 50-50 winner today. Let's see, who should do that? Who should have the birthday boy? Well, we have multiple birthdays.